No matter how pampered the...
On A&E.
I turned my first trick in a small town at 13 years old. I've slept with legislators, I've slept with senators, I've slept with bums. I've slept with fat men that had so much fat on their body they couldn't get out of bed, you know. I've slept with men who thought it was really cool to watch a woman with another woman, so they'd hire a prostitute to be with their wife. It started because my mother was an alcoholic, and she took our entire welfare check, went down to the liquor store and spent the entire amount on liquor, brought it home, put it in the cupboard, and said, "That's our food for the month." And then 2 days later, the landlord knocked on the door, and he didn't ask for my mom, he asked for me, and he asked me where the rent was. And at that point in time, I mean, I was 13 years old. Sure, I knew how to babysit, but I didn't even know how to cook, you know? And so I went to someone that lived in the low-income apartments where we lived, and I asked him, I said, "How can I earn some money and earn it really fast? Because I got to pay the rent." And he said, "Well, let me show you how it's done." I got married when I was 18, and I was still turning tricks until I was 19, and my husband didn't know about that. And he does now. You separate yourself. Your mind is in one place and your body's in another. A lot of the time, you'll be laying there on a bed and you're doing whatever it is you're doing, and your mind is off in the corner watching. You don't see, you're not there at the same time. There are several types of prostitution here in Salem. There's women that'll stand out on their front porch at certain times, on certain days, and the men will drive by, and if they're there, they'll stop. If they're not, they won't. There's probably 15 migrant camps surrounding Salem right now, and there's women that go out to these migrant camps every other day. A different woman will be taken out to the same migrant camp. One of the women that I'm working with currently goes out to a different migrant camp every day and sleeps with approximately 100 men every day. And she gets $20 a pop for it. I can remember from personal experience going into the T&R truck stop in Salem, and there's anywhere from 100 to 1,000 trucks that pull in there every night, and you can go into anywhere from 5 to 20 trucks a night, depending upon how many you can squeeze into your time, you know, that you're going to be there. And usually the average price for a truck stop is about the same as if you're street walking. It's about $20 a person. When I got out of prostitution, my best experience was being able to buy my own underwear. You know, I went for years without even wearing underwear, and to go out and buy them was very special for me. Happiness for me is having everything I want and not having to give anything up for anybody.
This 25-year-old woman wouldn't allow us to show you her face. She works as a call girl in a mid-sized city in the Midwest.
My name's Davina. I'm currently a prostitute. My parents made me live a very sheltered, hermited life. And I guess part of me did this job because I'm not content. You know, I have, you know, an imagination. And the routine thing is just not for me. It has to change. So far, I've only had a few bad experiences. And it was like my third day working. No experience whatsoever, and this person was a pervert. He had a hair roller request. He wanted me to role play, dippity-doo hairspray and commercials and be his sister. I didn't know at the time, you know, the person I had worked for at that time didn't tell me the rules. Didn't tell me that if there was anything done or anything, you know, kinky, that I could leave. I had the right to walk out of that room. And I didn't know that. I thought once they paid the money, I had to stay regardless. Normally the girls shouldn't walk away with less than 100. And I've been walking away with about 80 per call right now. When I go out on a call, I just become a character. I just think of myself as one of those girls on a video or something, and I'm just here doing a job. I have a few pleasant experiences. Some of them I see on a regular basis, and they're really good friends. In fact, it's turned out where I don't even have to sleep with them. They enjoy my company. He's a farmer, and he's an older man, retired. He'd call me up just to tell me that his dog died, you know. He's offered to take me and my kids camping in his great big motorhome. You know, it's kind of cool, you know. I haven't done anything to think any less of myself yet. In fact, I have to be honest and say I've enjoyed it.
Liza, a former prostitute, used to work in Beverly Hills as a high-priced call girl. In the best-selling book, You'll Never Make Love in This Town Again, which she co-authored, Liza lived in the fast lane, boasting of a rich and famous list of clients.
One of my best experiences call girling was Adnan Khashoggi. And that's because he was very generous. He was a gentleman. He treated me with utmost respect, kind of like a queen, basically. He was flowering me with gifts, money, anything I wanted. I was only 17 or 18 when I went to go see him in Las Vegas. A friend of mine took me there and introduced me to Adnan. This time I didn't even know about prostitution. I didn't know anything about, Alex or the Madams or anything. And I went there to enjoy myself, for a weekend. And that's what I thought it was going to be. When I entered his room, after he had already given me the money, of course I turned it down because I thought I'm not a prostitute. And then all of a sudden I'm like, $10,000. Maybe I am. And I figured, you have sex with people for nothing. Or you go and get drunk one night and you don't remember even what you just did and your reputation's ruined anyways, why not? The average working girl would get paid from $500 to $40,000 depending on what is asked of her. The reason why the call girls are paid so much is for confidentiality, also for how attractive she is, for what they're asking for, sexually, physically, mentally. They could ask for, things that are very unusual sexually, and the girl would have to perform these acts, be willing, and also know how. When I'd have sex, I would perform. I would disassociate myself completely. And I think a lot of girls did. Once I was in that room, I was another person. A lot of girls that I know do the same thing. They think of the money. My girlfriend it made me laugh because she'd think of dollar signs. Some people count to 10, some people count sheep. She counts dollar signs. I really believe that men that hire prostitutes, no matter how rich they are or poor they are, it's because they want some kind of, they want to talk, they want someone who will listen to them. They want the fantasy lovemaking, where the woman can go out to dinner with them, she'd be dressed beautifully, she'd act with class. And she's gorgeous, they want to be with someone like that. And then they can go home and she can be the whore in bed that they've always dreamed of. And then afterwards, she leaves. She doesn't ask questions, she doesn't ask for a phone number, she says thank you, and leaves. It's a control issue for some women. They feel they're in control, they don't have to fall in love, they don't have to feel emotional, they don't have to feel. All they have to do is dress up, suit up, and show up.